Hi besties, welcome back to the channel. On today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how to achieve this simple shift dress with 2 years of crepe fabric, and it has a funnel sleeve. If you want to see how I went about this, do not skip any part of this video, and do not forget to subscribe to the channel and on your post notification button so you get notified every time I post a video. So for this tutorial, we'll be marking on our pattern paper, but before we mark, I'll measure what I have there. So the length I have on the pattern paper is 36, so I'll be increasing it for my hemming allowance. Now the upper part now will be serving as my shoulder line. So this is, we are drafting out on the pattern because you can't mark on my fabric, is very light. Now I'm going to come down 9 inches for my chest line, 16 for my width, and for my hip point is 24 and half. So I'll do the same thing on this other side. So I'll mark it out. After that, now we're going to rule it out so that we'll have a straight line to work with. So now I'm going to label, this is my chest line, waistline, and my hip line. So the down part is serving as the full length of the dress for now. So now at the upper part, which is serving our shoulder line, I'll divide my round shoulder by 2, which is 15 divided by 2, give you 7.5. I'll mark the same thing on the chest line, 7.5, and I'll connect the 2 points together. So now for the neck width, I'm making use of a neck width of 3 inches. And on the armhole side, I'm going to come down, but before I do that, I'll take my neck width, my neck measurement. So I use 1 inch for the back and 3 inches for the front neckline. Then I connected to the 3.5 inches we mark on the neck width. So we're just drafting out a busybodies. We do it all the time on the channel. Now on the shoulder line, I'll come down 1 inch for my shoulder slope and I'll connect to the neck width. On the chest line, I'm going to divide my round bust by 4, which is 36 divided by 4 will give you 9. I will mark. On the armhole side, I will check what I have on the armhole side. So what I have there is 8, half of that is 4. On that point, I came in by half an inch. Now I'm going to connect the 3 points together to cover up my armhole. So now we're done. I'll be adding my stitching allowance of 1.5 inches and 1 inch for ease. Now on the waistline, I will divide my round waist by 4. I will mark, mine is 28 divided by 4 will give you 7. I add 1.5 inches for stitching allowance and 1 inch for my ease. Now come to the hip line, I will divide my round hip by 4. I'll mark, add 1.5 inches for stitching allowance and 1 inch for it. So you can add more allowance if you want it a bit big, but I didn't want it that big, so that's why I added only 1 inch for ease. And for this dress, you can either make it long or short. So I want to wear mine to church, so that's why I didn't make it all that short. So it's based on your preference. Now on the full length, my hip divided by 4 is 10. So I'm going to mark that here, 10. Then I'm going to add extra 5 inches to that, making it 15. So on the full length, I marked 15. So now connect from the hip line to the full length. And that will be all. Now on the hemline, we don't want it looking all that sharp. So I'll come up by 1 inch and I'll connect it back to the full length this way. And this is what we have. Remember, we are using this pattern to cut both the front and the back piece. So now this is what we have. The next thing is just to cut out. Now we're going to cut out our pattern. Now before we do that, we're going to cut out the back neckline first, the shoulder slope, then the back armhole first. We're using this pattern to cut both the front and the back. Now after that, we'll cut out the side. And if you have not subscribed up to now, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. So this is what we have. We're going to use this to cut out our back piece first. So here I've placed my pattern on the back piece on the folded fabrics. Now start cutting. Now on the shoulder line, I added half an inch to the shoulder, then cut out my armhole. So you can see I use something heavy to hold on it because this fabric is very light. It is a crepe fabric. So I'll just trace out all the excess I have on the sides. So after that, this is what we have. So we are going to keep it aside to cut out our front piece. So now this is for the front piece. I've equally cut it out and I've added 1 inch to the hem. So guys, I lost a clip of when I cut out the neckline. Please forgive me. And equally when I opened my slit, I lost a clip of when I did all that. So I've equally opened the slit and cut out the front neckline and the front armhole. But I will explain what I did. So after cutting out the front armhole, to cut out the slit in front, from the neckline I went in by half an inch, and for the length of my slit I used 4 inches. Now I'm going to connect from that half an inch I went in on the neckline to meet the length, which is 4 inches for the depth of the keyhole. Now this is what I have, then I trimmed it off. So this was exactly what I did on my fabric. So you do the same on yours. I lost a clip of when I did that, so we're going to keep this aside. So now I'm going to cut out a facing for my neckline. So I folded another fabric into two, and I placed my front piece on it and I pinned it down. Now I'm just going to cut out the neckline and the shoulder. So as we're cutting out facing for the front, we're cutting out facing for the back as well. Now I'm going to slit the front open to meet the length of the 4 inches I have on the main fabric. After that, I'm going to take out the pin and I'll cut out my facing. This is for the front piece. So I'm just going to take out a whole lot going on the table. So after cutting it out, this is what I have. I'll place the facing on the fabric this way, right side facing each other. I'll take it to the machine. I'll stitch from the neckline with half an inch. When I get to that keyhole side, I'll lift up my footer, stitch the keyhole and stitch the neckline. I'll do that and bring it back. So after stitching my front piece, this is what I have, and I've equally ironed it out. This is what the back looks like. Now I'm going to get the back on. So this is the back piece. I've added in the facing and it's looking very neat. Now I'll join the shoulders together and stitch with half an inch. I'll do the same for the other side. I'll do that and bring it back to show you. So here I've stitched down my shoulders. This is what it looks like. Now we're going to take the measurement of our armhole so we can cut out our sleeve. So I measured around my armhole. So after measuring, I got 24 inches. So we're going to keep this aside so that we can draft out our sleeve on the pattern paper. So this is the pattern paper that is left from our tutorial. So this is serving as the shoulder line or the starting line. Now from that line, I'll take my biceps. So this is my starting line. I'll take my bicep, which is 3.5. If you don't know how to get your biceps, divide your round bust by 12. Whatever that gives you, you can add half inch to that. That is your biceps. And I'll rule that out. So I'll label it bicep so we don't get confused. So that's what we have. Now from the starting line again, I'm going to take the full length of my sleeve. So for mine, I use 26 inches. You can make yours longer or shorter than mine. It is your preference. So for the full length, it is 26 inches. And I'll rule that out. So this is what we have. Now we can label it full length so that we don't get confused. Now on the bicep, I'll be taking my around armhole measurement. Remember when we measured our round armhole, we got 24 inches. So half of that is 12. I'll mark 12. So that is the point 12. Now at that point, I'll connect it to the edge of the starting point this way. So this is what I have. Now I will measure what I have there to get the middle point. So when I measured, I got 12.5 inches. So half of it is going to be 6 1/4. So I'll fold it into two this way and I'll get the middle line. Now from the middle line here, I will curve it to meet the starting line this way. Then I'll curve it to below the bicep this way. So this is what we have for the sleeve. Now for the bell sleeve or the funnel sleeve, depending on how much fabric you're working with, I use 2 yards, so I don't have enough fabric, so I just marked in 10 inches. So when I open it, it's going to be 20 inches. Now connect from the full length, from the sleeve, from the bicep to the full length. Just watch what I'm doing as I'm talking. I'm explaining. So if you have more fabric, you can make yours more pronounced. So after that, I'll measure around my armhole to be sure that I have 12 inches. So after measuring, I got 12.5. So all I needed was 12. So I have extra a half inch there. So I'll connect it back this way. I'll readjust. Now this is all we have for the sleeve. Now I'm going to trace out all the excess. And if you have watched up to this point, you've not subscribed to my channel, babies, we are missing. I have a whole lot of content that will interest you. And if you have any question, you can ask me in the comment section. Now I'm going to use this pattern after cutting out to cut out on my fabric. So I'll use this now to cut it out on my fabric. So here I've cut out my sleeve on the fabric and I added extra half an inch to the full length. Now I'm going to notch the middle line, our middle line of our sleeve. So I'm going to get my gown. So this is the gown. Now I'm going to get my sleeve. I'll place the middle line on that shoulder line this way, right side facing each other. So you can use pins to pin it around. Now I'll take it to the machine. I'll stitch it down with half an inch all around. So I'll do that and bring it back to show you. So after stitching it, this is what I have. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to close the sides. So now I'll fold the sleeves together. I'll use 1 inch to stitch it all the way down, or 1.5 inches depending. So I'll come to this other side. I'll do the same, fold it together and use 1 inch and 1.5 inches to stitch it down, and I'll bring it back. After stitching it down, this is what I have. This is how neat everything came out looking. Now for the lower part of the dress, I've hemmed the lower part, so do not forget to do the same for yours. And I equally did the same for my sleeve. I've hemmed it all around. So thank you guys so much for watching up to this point. We'll be ending the tutorial here, and do not forget to hit that subscribe button. I have amazing content on this channel. I'll see you on my next video. Bye.